you so much for joining us, ma'am. You really inspire us. Good evening, friends, and welcome to yet another awesome session by Mindful Living. Thank you for taking out time and joining us on a Saturday evening. We really appreciate your joining us, and I can assure you your investment of time is definitely going to be very well worth it. Today we have got a special speaker, Rambha Mitra, joining us from Bombay. Rambha is a holistic health consultant and a personal well-being coach. She is a BA in psychology from the prestigious Jesus and Mary College from Delhi and a American Council of Exercise certified professional. There are very few ACE certified professionals in the world, and she is one of them. There is something which is common between Rambha and I, and that is our background in insurance. Like me, she's also got a background in insurance, working in Max Life. And after that, she moved on to being a fitness counselor with Intellinet before starting out on her own as a holistic health consultant. She's based in Bombay, and her expertise is in multidimensional health, which spans wellness, holistic well-being, and she's very conversant in her work with using herbs, vitamins, minerals, and nutrition as an essential to providing natural health. She studies issues at the hormonal level, immune system, and digestive levels, and suggests appropriate interventions. Nutritional deficiencies are common to most diseases, but mostly we don't talk about it today. And that is something she's going to talk about in great detail. She also integrates yoga, strength training, postural assessment with corrective exercises towards an ecosystem of mind-body mechanism. The end result of all of this is optimal health outcomes. Before I invite Rambha to take over and start the session, I would like you to share in the chat what is your intention of joining the session today. What is one thing that you are learning, looking forward to learning? What is your expectation from the session? Please take a minute and share with us in the chat your expectations from the session today. And while you are typing out your expectations, I would like to share that we will take the question and answers towards the end of the session. The duration of the session will be about 30, 35, 40 minutes. So around 4:45 or so, we will open it up for Q&A. And let us see if there are any comments coming in. Some insights and tips about living healthy daily. What is it that I can do daily? Thanks for sharing that. How to remain healthy. Thanks for sharing that, Manoj. Self-healing. Very nice. Thank you, Samir. So, Rambha, those are for you to take a note of. Maybe you could integrate this expectations in your session today. Most of you know me, but in case this is your first session with Mindful Living today, my name is Ashish Kumar and I am the founder of Mindful Living. I started Mindful Living in 2018 with a mission to help 1 million working professionals lead healthier, happier, and wealthier lives. And today's session is very special because for the first time, we are going to be talking on physical health. So on that note, Rambha, we thank you for taking our time and joining us, and please request you to take it forward.
Hello, Ashish, and thanks a lot for having me on your platform. It's a great pleasure. I thank everyone who is signed up for this. And I want to begin with a question which I think everyone should ask themselves. What is their definition of health? What do they think about health? Mostly when people talk about health, they basically feel that health is illness of is absence of an illness. So if I am not unwell, I don't have an illness, there is no disease, I'm healthy. In my session, we are going to go beyond that definition, that health is much, much beyond what we think in terms of just not having any particular disease or any particular disorder. So welcome to Holistic Health Reset Approach. And whatever is our health status, we can always raise the bar. The reset approach gives us an opportunity to take our health to another level in a more wholesome way. And I will start with my PowerPoint. Okay, welcome everyone. The first thing that I've asked everyone, and that is to have their own personal definition of what they think health is. Now, health and wellness has been my passion for a very long time, and I have built on that for many years. The first thing that we need to know about health is that it is in itself a journey. It is not a one-time approach where you just deal with it when something comes up. It is an ongoing journey, and it is something that we keep building on as time passes. So this journey is something that we all begin today in this small module. I'm basically a holistic health consultant and a certified professional. My expertise is multidimensional, and as Ashish rightly said, that spans health, fitness, wellness, and holistic well-being, which is by very nature are seamlessly integrated. So basically all these words, health, fitness, wellness, holistic wellness, they all are deeply connected. You cannot have them as mutually exclusive concepts. So rather than focusing on illness or any specific part of the body, holistic health reset approach considers the whole person and how he or she interacts with his or her environment. It emphasizes the connection of mind, body, and spirit. So we just won't go into the specific problems in terms of physical health. We will go much beyond to what comprises of our concept of health. This is something about what kind of clients I'm working with. I work with clients who are health enthusiasts, and they basically have no apparent disease or disorder or any kind of health problem. They basically want an upgrade in their health status, which is the next level. There are also people who want to especially do some immunity building in current COVID times. And as you all know, the current scenario is very, very fearful in people's mind. And the number one priority these days is health. I also have patients with a wide range of chronic health problems, from digestive disorders to infections to autoimmune histamine issues. Now, these are specific problems which are not chronic in nature, so people don't tend to take them seriously. It is something that we keep on ignoring till it becomes a big problem. There are also individuals who have realized that they have gone the allopathic path and they have tried many protocols, many line of treatments, and they do realize that the symptoms tend to come back because the symptom management approach doesn't last for very long. And the deep answers they're looking for finally curing their ailments is not there. There are also people who do not want to unnecessarily rely on drugs and medical interventions for the rest of their lives. Like, let's say somebody who's diabetic. Now, he wouldn't want to be on a diabetic medication for rest of their lives. They would like to have some holistic approach to the problem and come out of that medication protocol. There are also people who are interested in knowing the underlying cause of their problems rather than just suppressing the symptoms. So they take the holistic route rather than just taking medications like painkiller, anti-inflammatory drugs, or any kind of antibiotics. Mostly people who come to me are motivated to play an active role in their own healing process and willing to make the necessary dietary and lifestyle changes. Coming back to the first thing that we understand about health is nutrition. The first thing that anybody thinks about when they're thinking about improving their health is, what should I eat? What should be the ideal diet for me, for my metabolism? Therefore, the first thing that I look into is the nutrition assessment and advice. I prescribe nutraceuticals in terms of vitamins, minerals, herbs that are essential to natural health. There are also nutritional deficiencies which people are not aware of. Because what has happened in the past 50 years is that the soil has been really depleted due to glyphosate herbicide, which are the chemical herbicides that we are using in our agricultural practices. So the soil is becoming very nutrient depleted, and therefore our food is not as enriched in nutrients as it used to be 50 years back. So a lot of times we say, that अरे हमारी नानी तो ये खाती थी, हमारी दादी तो ये खाती थी, और कुछ भी नहीं होता था, वो तो खाना खाते थे and they were okay. But those were also the times that the soil depletion was not happening. The chemical herbicides were not used. The chemical fertilizers were not used. The soil was not depleted. But this is something which is not a common public knowledge. And therefore, people feel the food which was there earlier, 50 years back, is same in nutrient value as of now. I also involve certain tools which I use in my nutrition assessment, and which is metabolic typing, biochemistry assessment, and some lab test results. I also take medical history. I do have a symptom tracker where I do give a questionnaire as to what are the symptoms that the person is feeling on day-to-day basis. And these kind of informations, they come very handy to get more clarity. I also assess the physical environment which the client is living in. It could be that the client is living in a very highly EMF radiation environment where person is all the time near the Wi-Fi, or where the electromagnetic radiation is very high. Now, these things also tend to affect our physical health a lot. I also take note of what kind of medications the person is having, which also will impact the liver and the kidney function. We also take into account the emotional stress levels that adversely can impact the health. Finally, we explore the changes that nutritional interventions can help to improve your health and create a personalized wellness plan. So this is just one tool where we take note of many things, and according to that, we make a personalized plan for nutrition and diet. Now, when we talk about diets, we are basically thinking about the vitamins, which people are very much aware, like vitamin C, vitamin D, which are regularly coming in the media also, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C. But the core of essential nutrients are minerals. Now, minerals is something that most of us are not aware, except for probably calcium. Now, out of 90 essential nutrients, there are 60 essential minerals. But do we really know anything about them? Absolutely not. Maximum, we will know magnesium or calcium, but there are so many minerals that you can see in the chart that we have absolutely no knowledge of. I would like to highlight and take an example here. Let's say selenium. Now, this is a nutrient which mostly people would have not heard, even if they have gone to a dietitian or a nutritionist or any other health professional. But in serious nutrition circles, we know that selenium can play a very important role in heart health, for thyroid, and many other functions in the body. Chromium is another mineral which plays a very powerful role in blood sugar regulation. Again, these are the terms, these are the words which we never come across, because we are only given, even in the media, as you know, we only come to know about 4 or 5 things, including zinc. We have little knowledge about omegas, but we have no information how powerful omega-3s can play in the current scenario, especially in COVID times. So I'm trying to show you 60 essential minerals, 16 essential vitamins, 3 fatty acids, and 12 amino acids. Now, amino acids, it's absolutely, which is not talked about in medical circles at all, except in sports medicine. Now, how many of us are in sports? So basically, we tend to bypass all these 90 essential nutrients in our daily life. And we take handful of 4 or 5 nutrients in our daily supplementation protocol. So this is another thing, if you can read, there are 60 essential minerals, 16 essential vitamins, 3 fatty acids, and 12 essential amino acids. Now, arginine is something, if you can see in the essential amino acid, arginine is something which play a very important role in the cardiovascular disease. Now, how many of us take it if we are diagnosed with any cardiovascular problem? So as you can see, there are many, many nutrients which we are not aware of at all, and which are not talked about at all. And definitely there's hardly any population that is taking even, I would say, 1/3 of all this. Now, as I said, that I also make a person take certain lab test. And as you can see, this is a example I have given for glucose metabolism. As you can see on the left side, we have fasting blood sugar. We have postprandial sugar, which is post-meal. We have hemoglobin A1C. We have fasting serum insulin, and we have postprandial serum. Now, most of us are aware of the lab ranges. As you can see, in each test, we are given a certain lab range, which according to holistic health are very, very lenient and wide ranges. So when you are only adhering to these ranges, we tend to fall into insulin resistance, pre-diabetic, and even diabetic conditions. The optimal range, which is given next to the lab range, as you can see, are much stricter if you can see, especially if you see the blood sugar. Diabetic, they are saying more than 126, but in optimal, anything above 88 to 90 is a red flag. That is why a lot of times you will see that people, just out of the blue discover that, oh, I'm diabetic. Till 6 months back, I was not. How come suddenly I've become diabetic? That is because we were referring to these lab ranges and not the optimal ranges. So as you can see in the example that I've given, the client value is on the right side. If you can see, the client value is 95, which is absolutely fine as far as lab range is concerned. But if you compare it to the optimal range, it is definitely higher. Same way, if you see post-lunch testing, it is 130. Now in the lab range, you can see non-diabetic is less than 40. But if you see in the optimal range, 120, more than 120 is pre-diabetic. Similarly, you can see other things. So that is how you will know that sometimes we are, in our so-called la-la land, and we look at our test results and we look at our lab ranges and say, oh, we are perfectly fine. But if we stick to the optimal range and we try to comply to them, we will realize that our insulin resistance, our glucose metabolism can be much, much better. And in future also, there are much less chances of becoming pre-diabetic or diabetic. Another tool which I use in my consultancy is symptom tracker. Now, when I have a session with my clients, most of them do not remember all the symptoms or all the things that they feel on day-to-day basis. So what I have done is that I have a symptom tracker where I make them think, and I give them a questionnaire where they can fill on different headings, like let's say in this case, digestion. So they have a range of 0, which is none, and 4, which is severe. And this way we do an analysis of different symptoms and the severity of the symptoms and what does it imply. So this is also one very good tool to assess as to how the person is doing holistically and not just one particular problem, because each and everything is connected to, let's say if your blood sugar is high, your heart is going to be impacted. But that is not how we think. We think blood sugar means only diabetes. So this is one tool where we connect everything and we come out with more clarity as to what the problem is. Exercise. Now, exercise is a very, very, what should I say, something that people keep reading about. And, most of people are aware what kind of exercise they're interested in and what sort of exercise do they prefer. But here we make an exercise protocol where, depending on the person's health status, we recommend the exercise, the kind of exercise, the frequency of the exercise, the intensity of the exercise, and the how many times they do it. So this is again a very, very specific program that we give. Like, for example, I can give you people who have adrenal fatigue, who get tired very fast. Now, for them, the exercise plan is going to be very, very different. It is not going to be 1 hour of brisk walking every day. Even if we give them resistance training, we will not be giving them high intensity. So every kind of problem has a different kind of exercise protocol, which slowly we start and we increase the intensity of whichever exercise has been prescribed. And as you can see, exercise helps to get high quality sleep, lose, gain, and maintain weight, improve your resistance to infections, improve your brain function, prevent and relieve chronic pain, improve your emotional health, and lower your risk of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. Now, this is a term that everyone is talking about these days: stress. No matter what kind of stress, the one thing which is on everybody's mind is stress, different kinds of stress. But what is the medical definition of stress? Medical definition is the sum of the biological reactions to any adverse stimulus, physical, mental, or emotional, internal or external, that tends to disturb the organism's homeostasis. Should these compensating reactions be inadequate or inappropriate, they may lead to disorders. So what I'm trying to say is that stress per se is not bad, but once it reaches a certain threshold, it can lead to many problems in our health. But there is also something called healthy stress. We will talk about it later, which is important for everyone. Now, we will go more deeply into what do we consider chronic stress. Acute stress, acute stress would be if you get a viral fever, if you get a viral fever for 3 days, if you fall down, you get a bruise, you start bleeding. That is also physical stress. But these kind of stresses are short term. They get over in 4, 5, 1 week, 10 days maximum. But there are also some chronic stresses which play havoc on our metabolism. Some of these chronic stresses are adrenal fatigue, thyroid hyperstimulation, pancreatic overload, hormonal imbalance, nutrient deficient diets, sedentary lifestyle, toxic environment, toxic processed foods, antibiotics, and medications. Now, antibiotics for a short term is perfectly all right, but there are people who are on long-term antibiotics and they play a devastating role on our digestion, on our liver, on our kidneys. So long-term medication is also has a flip side, and we need to understand that. And some extra precautions needs to be taken. Coming back to COVID-19, now everyone has, as I would say, woken up to their health status, because earlier we were all busy with our lifestyles, and health was something at the back of our mind. It was something that we needed to do and we thought we will do, and we were taking baby steps. But suddenly now, due to the COVID times, the health has become number one priority. So basically what we are trying to say here is that you can take control of your health and strengthen your own innate immune system. You don't have to rely on conventional medicine always. So again, going back to holistic health, where we don't have to resort to medications at the last moment when the problem has already taken a toll. If we have a plan, if we have a long-term plan, we do not have to fall into any kind of situation where we are in an emergency situation, for example, COVID-19. The program also lay a lot of emphasis on natural immunity, because natural immunity is lifelong. Artificial immunity from synthetic and potentially harmful methods is not. We also take care of special antibiotics and nutrient protocols to kind of cover us from any kind of infections. So that is also something that these days we lay a lot of stress on. My holistic approach also looks into possible precautionary and post-COVID vaccine injuries. Now, I am observing these days there's a lot of people having some sort of a problem after taking vaccines. So these can be handled by some other protocols which are very specialized, which can mitigate the side effects of so-called side effects if you've taken a vaccine, and even some precautionary measures. We have disease prevention through stress reduction, and we also improve our immunity through broad spectrum supplementation. So we also have a special supplementation plan which only takes care of our immunity, so the infection is not something that we catch on. So this is very, very important in today's time. But in the end, we realize the best long-term defense is to optimize your diet and holistic care of your body. Now, finally coming to what do we understand by optimum health? Now, I have talked about exercise, I have talked about nutrition, supplementation, rest, sleep, meditation is also a very, very important point for stress management. But there is one thing that usually people don't look into, and that is faulty biomechanics. Now, what do I mean by faulty biomechanics? Basically, I mean that any postural distortions can lead to many problems in terms of nerve supply, because our nerve supply is the number one reason how our organs are functioning well. If the nerve supply is disrupted, the organ functioning goes down. If the organ functioning goes down, the health of that person goes down. For example, let's say if we are looking at the lumbar spine, L3 and L4. Now, L3 and L4 are directly related. The nerve supply is directly to the knees. So if anything is wrong with our L3 and L4, our knees will have some problem. So I do have a collaboration with chiropractors who basically look into all these things, your postural corrections, your rehabilitation exercises, your spine alignment. So these things also add on to your optimum health. And we don't have to wait for very severe situations where we have some sort of a disc bulging, because those are very later and serious stages. So if we have regularly our chiropractic sessions, we do come to know how our biomechanics are working. And if any kind of postural distortion is there, we can correct them much in advance. So here again, proper nerve supply, regular exercise, proper nutrition and supplementation, sufficient rest and sleep, and of course, meditation and prayer. Now, finally, what is the takeaway from here? So the takeaway from here is that the focus of health has shifted from weight loss to immunity gain in the last 2 years. Suddenly you will realize that even people who are relatively slim and they have good body composition and they are working out and they are relatively so-called healthy people are still looking into some sort of immunity gain. So somehow the weight loss concept has taken a backseat and people are more interested in immunity gain, and weight loss comes along with that. So that is a deeper goal. Immunity gain is a deeper goal. And I would say weight loss is a more of a cosmetic goal. If you're only, because there are a lot of slim and thin and relatively fit looking people who are also getting COVID, who are also falling. So immunity gain becomes the number one goal in today's world. Things that can weaken your immune system. Again, as I said, there is extreme stress and there is healthy stress. Now, healthy stress would be something, an adequate exercise. Now, even exercise is a stress to the body because you're challenging your muscles, but it's a healthy stress. Any kind of short-term emotional issue is a healthy stress because you know you can handle it. Short-term, non-invasive medical treatment is okay. Let's say you get a viral infection and you are on medication for 5 days. Now, this is all okay. But extreme stress could be a long-term physical, chemical, or emotional stress, which is going on for for a long time, basically. There are also medications like steroids, statins, vaccines, which also have a side effect. So that can also weaken our immune system. And of course, nutrient deficiencies, which not many people are aware. So once we work on them, that also adds on to our immunity gain program. Hormonal imbalance. Now, hormonal imbalance is not just about your female hormones or men's hormones. Hormones are also related to your endocrine systems, which means how all your organs are functioning, whether it's pancreas, whether it's liver, whether it's kidney, any kind of hormone. So it's not just that if my estrogen levels are not okay or if my testosterone levels are not okay, only that is my area of concern. So overall, holistically, we'll also look at the hormonal balance. Sedentary life versus active life again. So active life, as you said, something where you are active, you do exercise, you are not constantly working from work at home. Even if you're working constantly at work at home, you have an evening plan or a morning plan where you have some sort of an active lifestyle incorporated. Again, lack of sleep. Lack of sleep is something we can totally impact your immune system. So sleeping according to your circadian cycle, which is, let's say, 11 p.m. to 6 p.m., 6 a.m. So because of our late sleeping culture these days, we are also violating our circadian cycle. Most of us are sleeping very late, post 1, post 2. So 11 p.m. is something which you should target to adhere to the circadian cycle. So this is, as we can see, things that weaken our immune system and things that can strengthen our immune system. Now, this is something which is, I think, everybody in this platform is aware, because it is a mind-body connection, which at least people on this platform are very much aware of. The biochemistry of the mind-body connection. While we still don't understand everything about the mind-body connection, scientists are discovering some of the ways in which communication occurs. So basically, communication occurs via chemical and physical messengers such as hormones and neurotransmitters. So this is how we come to know that how hormonal balance is very, very important for our overall health. We are also beginning to understand how mental stress, such as stress and depression, can influence organ function. This we will see in the coming slide, how our organs are also impacted when we are suffering with too much stress. Now, this is a negative emotion creation cycle. According to this science, we have specific emotions which specifically affect some organs. Here we can see stress manifest in our bodies in different ways, like anger and frustration tax our liver, fear taxes our kidney, worry taxes our spleen and digestive system, sadness affects our lungs, hate taxes our heart. Emotions do tax the body, and each emotion challenges different organs in the body. So the mind-body connection is a very, very powerful mechanism, and still a lot of research is being done on that. We can transform these negative emotions into useful ones that will help us move forward into this new era, whatever it might be. Our cells are constantly being recreated, and the healthier the environment you create for them, the healthier they will be. So the direct mind-body emotion connection is very, very important to know. Coming back to our belief systems, all of us, no matter what protocols we take for our health, what lifestyle measures we take for our health, whatever actions we take for our belief systems for our health is very, very important. So in our sessions, we also work on our belief systems as to how we can make our belief systems more powerful, more positive, more manifestation. I use some health affirmation cards in my session where we go deep into the belief systems of the person, of what he or she thinks his health status is, and how motivated or how I would say geared up he is to change his health status. So we look at many health affirmation cards, and we work on that. Now, finally, coming back to my offer, I am here offering a 20-minute health introductory session at no cost, and invite anybody who would like to have a small session with me over the phone, and we can do a small briefing with my insights into the health status of the person. So that is something that I'm offering here. And thank you everyone for being there, and any questions I'm ready to take on.
What a awesome session, Rambha. This is truly revolutionary stuff. As I was listening to this, I was wondering, what is it that we are doing with health? We have such a warped notion of health, and this is truly amazing. I'm so happy that you took this session for us. I'm sure this is a feeling that is echoed by many people who are there on the call. Happy to hear your thoughts or questions, anything. Deepan sir, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I have a question. Yes,
Yeah.
I have.
Question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So first of all, thank you, Rambha, for that powerful, and insightful session. Thank you for that. My question is, I saw in one place that exercise is good. Would you then have certain tips or recommendations that depending on the age, somebody should do 30 minutes, 60 minutes of walking or some kind of an exercise daily as a generalized tips, or some tips about the diet or something, or what are your thoughts?
Actually, I don't go into any kind of general recommendations because, every case is very, very unique. I have 60-year-old clients who are fairly very, very fit. And I have 25-year-old clients who are a real couch potato. So depending on the case, because as I said, I use my assessment tools. And depending on what we come out with, there is a very personalized plan that we come up with. So yes, exercise, I would say on the whole is 30 minute is minimum. But then we have cases where people are having adrenal fatigue. So in that case, I recommend something like a very slow 20-minute walk. So again, as I'm saying, there is no general recommendations, but a ballpark figure, yes, it's 30 minutes is minimum as far as walking is concerned. But walking, as I said, is bare minimum kind of exercise that we do.
Yeah, so I mean, you can't take even that for granted that I may be running 30 minutes or walking 30 minutes. So good.
I'll give you one example. I had a client who had just come out of COVID. Now all the parameters were okay, means blood pressure was okay, pulse was okay, everything was okay. But I could gauge with the symptoms that the person was suffering with adrenal fatigue, because what happens is that in COVID, certain steroids are given, which impair the adrenal organ function. So in that case, the adrenal organ takes a beating. So according to the parameters, everything was okay. But I could see that the person was having adrenal fatigue. So in that case, I started only with very light yoga with some pranayam. And then slowly we moved him, from very light exercise to slow walking. Now, if you look at the parameters, you say, oh, everything is okay. Why can't I exercise?
Correct.
But if you see at the symptoms, there are many more underlying things which I can, assess, because I know where the person is coming from. So he might say, I'm over COVID now, why can't I do this? But I can see what are the side effects of all the steroid and the medication which has gone through, and of course the trauma. The body goes through a lot of trauma in COVID. So it's a special precaution that one has to take, So
great, thank you.
Thank you, Deepan sir, for that question, and Rambha for that insightful response. We have a comment and a question from Samir. He says, absolutely amazing and insightful session. And he follows up his comment with a question. Will this therapy help a person who has come out of brain tumor surgery and doing medically fit, but has side effects of the treatment?
Yes. See, as I have said in my PowerPoint, that there are different nutrients. As you can see, I had shown 90 nutrients. So if you see, amino acid were also there. So amino acid therapy really works in the cognitive health. So a lot of times besides the antioxidants that we use, we also use amino acid therapy, which helps in cognitive health. And omegas are also fantastic for cognitive health and brain function and overall health, especially for the heart. So of course, the nutrient part, the 90 essential nutrients are very much playing a role in that. Besides the diet and lifestyle and all those things. The broad spectrum supplementation is the key, I would say, because I have explained what has happened to our food in the past 50 years. We are no longer eating natural food. The GMOs, as you know, the GMO food has come into India. So there are many foods which are now GMO foods. So we absolutely don't know that what we are eating is definitely not organic, but could be a high GMO food also. So we have to take a nutritional value of vegetables and fruits with a pinch of salt.
Thank you, Rambha. We have Samir has a follow-up question. He says, how can we have a session with you? May I request you to share your email and phone number on the chat once again, Rambha, because it was on the screenshot. Some people may have missed taking that. So if you could share.
I'll share it right now.
Yeah, if you could, that would be helpful for everybody. Yeah. Thank you, Rambha. So I'll request everyone to take a screenshot of this or make a note of this number and email. And this is what you can reach out to, use to reach out to Rambha to schedule your consult. I'm going to schedule mine, and I hope you do yours too. Thank you. Thank you, Rambha. Thank you, Samir. We have another question from Deepan sir, and he says, are all these nutrients available from vegetarian or non-vegetarian food?
The vegetarian have to follow much broader spectrum of supplementation because protein is quite deficient in the vegetarian diets. So we have to go an extra mile with vegetarian clients. So yes, they will probably have to have more. Yes. But this is not, it's not like I'm going to say, okay, take 90 pills because there are 90 nutrients. No, we have our formulas. We have different companies who give combination formulas. And so we use according to whatever is required. But yes, on the whole, the vegetarians will have to rely more on supplementations because the protein diet is quite deficient. Yes.
Friends, we will request you to share your feedback. We get to know from your comments that this is an awesome session, but we'll be happy to have your feedback in this Google form. It will take you less than a minute. So, we'll kindly fill it out and type FD, feedback done, once you have shared your feedback. And while you are filling out the feedback form, I would like to share that next Saturday, there will be no session. So there will be no session on 9th of October. Our next session will be on 16th of October. And we will let you know the time and the session details during the coming week. So there is a question from Nina ma'am, Rambha. There are lots of supplements available of different companies in the market. How to choose?
Yes, that is where the role of the health consultant comes in, because it's not just any supplement or any company, because you see the potency and the quality of the supplements are very, very important. Then comes the ratio and the dosage. So this is again a delicate balance. You can't just pick up anything and have it, except for general ones like zinc, vitamin C, which everybody's having. But depending on what the health problem is or what are the areas we need to work on, we prescribe supplements, their dosage, and the potency. As I said, the potency and the quality of supplements are extremely important because there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies who are jumping into supplementation. And believe me, it's really, the synthetic supplements are really trash. So no bioavailability, no absorption, this thing. The body doesn't really absorb, the bioavailability is very low. So it just moves out of the body through your excretion, this thing.
Thank you, Deepan and Samir, for sharing your feedback. Request others, Manoj, thank you. We have these sessions every weekend, except the next weekend is an exception. But in case you would like to attend these sessions and get to know about them, please join Mindful Living Community using the WhatsApp link that is shared in the chat. That's one great way to stay connected and get to know about our future events. While we are waiting for other questions to come, Rambha, I have one for you. You talked about nutritional deficiencies, as the cause for, the imbalances or diseases that we have. But this is not the approach that, the medical practitioners take. So if I go to a doctor, he's not going to say you've got this deficiency and you take this. What he's going to do is probably prescribe a pill, which the pharma company is pushing. So your thoughts on that?
And you know why? Because the nutrition model in the MBBS course is really, really small. So they are not trained for that. They are really not trained for that. They are trained for symptomatic approach of a problem, which is in their protocol is either medication or surgery. So they don't have a third approach. I mean, they don't have a third solution for it. And therefore they underplay it. And therefore they don't get into it. Like, for example, if I tell you that, let's say I'm having a knee problem, the first thing that I will do as a layman is go to an orthopedic, right? But what is the orthopedic actually prescribing? The first thing he's going to prescribe is a painkiller. Second, he's going to prescribe is probably steroid if the pain is not coming down. And third thing he's going to tell you is go for a knee replacement surgery. He's not going to look into your biomechanics. He's not going to look into your deficiencies. He's not going to look at anything, even a postural distortion, which could be leading to it. Any kind of nerve supply, which is disrupted, which is leading to less blood flow on the knees. So he's not going to look into it. So I think they are not trained in that field. I mean, nutrition is not a primary subject for them to treat people. Drugs and surgeries is their way of their line of treatment.
Thanks for those insights, Rambha.
Ms.
Yes.
Mitra, I have a question. Like we get very attracted seeing the ads, especially Oziva, the supplements like Oziva and these are like products which are available in the market. What is your insight on that?
Which supplements?
Oziva, Oziva, Oziva.
And what do they make? Sorry,
they make various supplements, they make various kind of powders, supplement powders, health powders and all that.
See, again, when I'm prescribing supplements, I take top 5 companies. Depending on the highest quality to mediocre, I really don't go anything beyond. So this is something I have not heard. This is so I really wouldn't want to comment, and I simply don't know. But a lot of, as I said, a lot of pharmaceutical companies are venturing into it because it is becoming very what should I say, a fad these days. So, but people don't know because you just randomly choose a supplement and you randomly take it and you have no idea why you've taken it and how is it going to affect you. So a very well planned protocol with the correct dosage is critical in your health plan.
These are basically protein powders actually, which are available in the market.
Oh, okay. So
Oziva.
Protein powders, yes, protein powders. Protein powders I do recommend in some vegetarian cases. But then again, I take the top 5. I really try to go for the top 5 because I can only vouch for the quality and the potency. See, again, the potency of the supplements is very important. There are a lot of herbal companies who are also selling a lot of herbs. But again, the quality becomes a very, very important criteria. So unless it's something you really know about the company, then it's a different matter. But if I do not know, then I do research. But if I'm not satisfied, then I usually tell the client that, sorry, I do not recommend it.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. We have another question. Is milk good for all? Nowadays, we also get lactose-free milk for those who have intolerance.
Milk, again, as I said, in its purest form, that was 50 years back, was quite good. But in today's pasteurized milk, with leading to a lot of allergies, lot of histamine issues, is really not recommended. One off day, if you feel like having dairy, it's okay. And especially if you're vegetarian, then yes, it can be, yogurt and all you can add. But milk on daily basis, definitely no. Because a lot of people are, even the lactose-free milk, it can lead to allergies and histamine issues.
Okay, thanks for that. Remember, we have another question, which is, can you please share which are the top 5 companies that you recommend?
Okay. Okay, my number one company, which I personally try to take, which is very difficult to get, is Longevity, which is an American. If you can study Dr. Wallach, you will know that his supplements are really, really high quality, and they are even used in medical cases. And I have a case. I will give you one example. I had my neighbor. Her daughter had a lung problem. She had fibroids in her lungs, and the doctor had said that she will have to go for lung transplant. Now she came to me and she was really very fearful, and she said, I have a 12-year daughter. I mean, what are they talking about? But there was, as I said, there was no cure in allopathy. And the next step was, after the steroid, of course, they were giving her high doses of steroids, but the next step was lung transplant. So I had used some very, very specialized products of Longevity. And today the doctors have told her that lung transplant is not required, and she's doing pretty well. And in fact, she has gone to UK and she's studying abroad. And previously she used to be regularly on oxygen machine on daily basis, but now she has shifted to UK and she's studying there, and lung transplant is ruled out.
Wow.
So I would say Longevity by all means is my number one, especially in serious cases.
And
But
how
the
would you-
available
sorry, how would you spell that, Rambha?
Young, YOUNG, Longevity, Longevity.
Okay, got it. Thank you. That was very, very helpful. And I think we have 3 minutes left to the close of the session. If there are any questions, please shoot them quickly. Any questions or comments, we'll be happy to take. And while we are waiting for people to comment, any closing thoughts, Rambha? This was a truly amazing session. Any closing thoughts from you?
I have only one thing to say. Go beyond masks, go beyond social distancing, and go beyond sanitizers. Health is much, much deeper than that. So do not think that if you're wearing masks and if you're maintaining social distancing and you're using sanitizer, it's all good. It's not. It's absolutely not. Even organizations like WHO, they are only talking about this. Nobody's talking about immunity building in the real sense.
Yeah.
Even the newspapers you read, it's all about social distancing, wearing masks, using sanitizers. That's all. And we have some special protocols for this, for COVID patients, even for people who have taken vaccine, how to mitigate the side effects of vaccines, how to mitigate that.
Thank you for sharing that, Rambha. This is so awesome. I'm very excited to have learned this from you today. And for sure, I'm going to be scheduling my conversation with you. And I'm sure many people here on the call are going to do that. And friends, this is a close of my work week, and I'm looking forward to the weekend. Like you, I'm sure you are looking forward to the weekend. So if you're excited, make some noise on your way out. Say thank you, share your comments, say bye-bye, whatever you want to say. Let's make some noise and have fun. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Thank you, Rambha.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Rambha.
everyone.
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepan sir. Thank you, everyone.